All right, so this weekend I was refereeing at an elite high school soccer tournament. And so one of the kind of conversations that I heard between player and coach went something like this. The player was going down the right flank, ultimately tried to cross the ball with her left foot into the middle of the box, and instead she passed the ball directly to the other team. So the coach yells at her and says, player, we don't need a square pass there. That leads to their, transition. And the player starts to respond and says, I was, and the coach immediately cut her off and said, I don't care about your stupid excuses. And then he said something else. He's like, just dribble. And she said, I wasn't. And he cut her off again. And I don't want to hear it. And she said, I was trying to cross the ball. And again, then he said, well, don't make a stupid cross with your left foot. Just dribble the ball. And then she said, well, I know that now, which I found humorous. But it kind of is similar to a lot of conversations that players and coaches have in games in any sport. Player makes a mistake, coach yells at player, doesn't want to hear it, doesn't want any explanation, doesn't want to know what caused the mistake. It's just there was a mistake and player must be yelled at. Whereas the coach or the player knows she made a mistake, probably knows how to fix the mistake next time already because plan one didn't work, so maybe next time she will try plan two, or maybe plan one was the right try or attempt, and she just didn't kick the ball properly or mishit it or something, or maybe she is weak on her left foot and she was trying something new. She was trying to get outside of her comfort zone and improve her skill, as opposed to doing what she's more comfortable doing or what she's better at doing, which in a national tournament may or may not be the right time to attempt something that one's not successful with or comfortable or confident in. But to a certain extent, trying to cross the ball to a teammate in the box with a weaker foot is probably an admirable attempt in and of itself. I'm sure if a basketball coach or a player went in who wasn't confident or wasn't real skilled with his or her left hand, and the player went in and tried a left-handed layup, maybe late in a game, coach might not be happy if it leads to a missed shot. But deep down, I think most coaches would be happy with the effort and say, well, here she's trying something new. They're trying to improve their skill as opposed to just taking the easier shot. Now, that might not be the time and score and situation where we want them to experiment, but if you look at the season in whole as a learning process, maybe it is a positive. So I think there's a lot of factors that go into mistakes in a game and perceived mistakes that players make. But to me, the conversation just struck me, and I just don't understand why a coach would cut off a player trying to give an explanation, unless the cutoff was just play. Don't worry about your mistake, just play. I don't need an explanation. We're fine. Move on to the next play. Keep your head in the game. Don't worry about what just happened. Don't talk to me on the sideline. Stay in the game. Anything like that I totally understand. If the coach wants, relax, just play. Perfect. Okay, and then maybe it's a conversation that you have, at halftime or at the end of the game or something like that, where you figure out, okay, what happened, what's the best approach next time. But to kind of, just yell at the player and then yell at the player to stop making excuses, to me, what are you doing as a coach? What are you trying to teach? And to me, if that's the immediate response, and it is the immediate response I hear a lot from coaches, both basketball, soccer, and probably every other sport, how much coaching are you really doing? How much teaching are you really doing? What are you trying to get from these players? And so I think those are the questions that coaches need to think about as they think about the feedback that they give to players during games, and how are they trying to teach during the games, or are games simply just an atmosphere of competition, and so any mistake is bad and we got to punish it, or can games be used as a learning environment, and we're trying to build players and keep them in improving and trying new things, and when they don't go well, then we just try to refocus them on the next play. You can't fix something that's already happened. Okay, so just go out, play the next play, learn from your mistake, and try to do better next time. and using it as a learning experience as opposed to another opportunity to yell and scream at a player.